Hi everybody, Mark Cooper from the Saskatchewan Construction Association here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how we can make sure that Saskatchewan infrastructure projects are being completed by Saskatchewan companies whenever possible. In this month's newsletter, you're going to find a link to our letter writing tool that will quickly let you send a letter to your MLA, the Premier, and Minister Ryder, who's the minister responsible for provincial procurement. In about 2 minutes or less, you'll be able to send that letter that will explain why it's important for the government to support local companies, especially during this extraordinary time. We believe really strongly, as I think many of you do, that open, free, and fair trade between provinces is important. But the reality is trade between Western Canadian provinces isn't fair, especially when it comes to things like infrastructure and construction. You've got Manitoba on one side that is chronically underfunding their infrastructure, which is starving their local contractor base. And you've got Alberta on the other side where the private sector economy is in shambles right now, and so everybody's looking for work. It isn't Saskatchewan's responsibility to single-handedly support businesses across all of these provinces, especially when all of these provinces, including British Columbia, our other partner, all have their own trade-limiting barriers that restrict access to Saskatchewan companies. Saskatchewan can't be the only Boy Scout in the West. If we're going to be part of a new West partnership, it actually needs to be a full partnership, and it hasn't been. We know here in Saskatchewan that we need an economic restart as our province begins to emerge from the pandemic. We also know, as economists tell us, that the best way to do that is by investing in infrastructure. If you invest $1 in infrastructure, you can see an economic return of anywhere between $2.50 and $3, almost $4. And you get the higher end of that, $3 or more for that $1 that you spend when you work with local companies. And that's because you see jobs created, you see more taxes generated, you have new people coming in, new homes and new businesses. It's the old adage that growth begets growth. But that only happens if local companies are involved in realizing that growth. Our first priority has to be to grow and support the Saskatchewan economy. And the only way to do that quickly is to make sure that we're supporting Saskatchewan companies. So we're calling on the government to keep working with industry to find ways to both follow the trade rules and support Saskatchewan companies. Let's make sure that the economic advantage that we're going to grow here in the next year or two stays in Saskatchewan to grow Saskatchewan. If you agree, please take a moment and send your letter today. Government really does need to hear your voice added to the mix. Thanks everybody. Take care. Stay safe.